Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another, what is probably going to be of many Granblue fantasy reactions, because after my first one, this one was requested, and now I have like 5 others or something in the queue on the way, because a bunch of people and the executive producers all banded together to start giving me more songs from this series. So this one specifically is from ReLink and is a different version, which I don't even think I've heard the original version of the Bahamut Versa theme. This is the Versa theme. I'm assuming there's another version in maybe the original. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure I've heard Bahamut's original theme. So this is probably, like, I looked, I didn't see it. So it's probably its own thing. Either way, gonna listen to this regardless, and without further ado, let's go! Okay. Jumping straight in with the choir. Seems very quick for the choir. Usually that's something people save for a little bit in, like you build up first, but maybe not this one. I love the riff game that this series seems to have. Had a good riff in the last one. And they're never like overcomplicating it. They're just good, simple riffs, but they fucking rip, dude. Simplicity is key sometimes. And I like that it's supportive to the rest of the song. It's not trying to be the guitar, you know? Well written. Oh, lyrics. So that's what they were building to. See, like that. Simple. Hit the riff, get out of there. Dude. You know, I'm starting to wonder if I didn't... Was the last one a Bahamut theme too? I only remember it as The Ultimate, which might just be the name of the song. Maybe. I didn't check that far. I just checked for the name. But it sounded familiar. I thought it was just because I knew it as a name already. Because this sounds pretty similar to the other ones, but definitely not the same thing. I was trying to just wrap that up as, oh, it's just from the same game, you know? But I think it might actually be sharing more than I remembered. Also, I know this is like Granblue, and I know their whole thing is fantasy, but imagine fighting a fucking dragon on a sky platform of magic in the air. And like, you don't have to imagine it. You can do it in this game. That's not what I'm saying. That's just pretty fucking baller. That's all I mean. Again, I love like the support structure of this song. Like the accents for the strings. It's just sharing the stage instead of taking too much out of one of the instruments' camps. They're all being very complimentary. So I've heard a few songs where like the guitar is doing too much, you know? Not so much the case here. I remember that being pretty good in the Ultimate as well. And the fact that it hasn't looped either. Like, I don't think this will loop. I don't think Granblue does looping like this for their bosses at very least. Great drum fill there. Such, like, seriously, those drum fills, such tight linear fills. Not a single stroke wasted. Little synth solo, little cheeky synth solo. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love that. They're still having fun. It's got to be like what? At least 7 minutes into this, right? I suppose that is the length where you're like, okay, let's start adding some solos. We're running out of lyrics. Ooh, God. Yeah, bend that string to high heaven. Holy shit. Again, back to these like really good chuggy riffs. Oh. God, really, those fills, those drum fills are fantastic. Oh, God, we're still going. I mean, I didn't think it was going to end right there either, but there's that pause back into the chorus. I knew they were going to put that fill there. You can start to feel it out after a while. I love those. They're so good. I'm not entirely positive if this is power metal. If not, it's something very similar to it, very adjacent. But it feels like power metal, so I'm assuming it is. The vocalist is definitely like a power metal vocalist for sure. They got all those qualities to them. Huge power chord to end it out too. Damn, best way to end a song like that. Dude, I know it's only like the second song I've actually like listened to when it comes to Granblue. I've played a few of them on the drums before for like my live streams, but I don't hear those as much as I do process them and just play them in the moment. I don't remember what any of those would sound like. So if I have at some point heard this before, I don't think they could request this one because I have a time limit on my songs for the reason that I am fat. But I feel like I might have heard something similar to this. Maybe I've heard a variation of this theme, or it's like used as a motif somewhere. Because there is a part of me that feels like I've heard it, but it could also be the thing that I mentioned with like the ultimate having something related to it. I'm not positive. It's been too long since I've done that video on the other one. So maybe? Okay, so such is the case with these longer songs. I don't tend to do too much music theory with them because it would take me way too long to be able to research a song this long and be able to break things down. Even songs like 3 minutes long can literally have me buried under researching what's going on in them because I'm not like a music theorist, so it would just take too long, sometimes an hour for those shorter ones. So I couldn't imagine how long it would take me to sift through all of this information. But the vibes, right? I mean, this is sick. I love the sound of this, and like I said, I have played some songs from this series before, but I don't hear those. So this is the first time I've actually sat and listened to songs from this game, and they have such a good feel to them. Generally great production. Like I said, it definitely feels power metal-y, but it's mixed exactly like that. And I like power metal. It's not like I don't. It's just hard to play for me because I don't have that sort of stamina. That shit can go on forever. And keeping the double pedal going isn't something I ever like really practiced. I can, but only for short bursts. So it's just, you know, like it's not something I've heard and been able to process in this way. And it's giving me a newfound appreciation for this style and this sound, given how deep it is and how interwoven it is with like the other orchestral instruments in here, the brass and the strings especially, just, I mean, really just filling out all of that space and utilizing them as accents where they need to be, but also baseline information where it needs to be. They will switch that depending on what's going on in the song. Do they need to have more of that chug from the guitar while like the vocalist is going on? Do you need that backing? Or can you just make things accentual while there's all this other information going on? What energy are you trying to get out of a song, right? Like, do you want it to be higher energy, like you're flying in the sky? Then utilize more of those strings and more of like the baseline of the brass section more than you would like the guitar. Whereas for the guitar and everything, that works way more for verses and sometimes the chorus, just again, depending on how hard you want to crank the general energy of the song. Because if you really want it to feel like you're going to be like fucking some shit up, you're fighting a dragon in the sky, for God's sake, you're going to want some of that. So it's like you don't want to get rid of too much of it, but you also don't want to get too much of that regal tone out of the way either. You have to keep that shit balanced. And they do a really good job at keeping that together. I think that is hands down my favorite thing about the few songs I've heard and processed from this series so far, is just how well they balance all of that. Because I've heard a lot of games that balance the energy of like metal and then orchestral together and having this like symphonic metal sound, which this could be as well, genre-wise. But either way, it's just a matter of how well they're producing all of these and how well they keep all that together. I'm really impressed by that. I'm always surprised when I get to like a new game, a new property by a new team, and I'm figuring out how their sound works. Like, that is the most interesting thing to me. So for me on these, even though they're so long, I'm hearing all of this effort being put in, and the fact that they are going the entirety of the length of the playtime, and it's not just a loop. Like, that happens a lot with like the Final Fantasy XIV songs I get to. And of course, those are usually pretty good too, and like very stylistically appropriate for whatever bosses they're covering or what have you, but they tend to loop after the first like 3 minutes or so. So to hear a song that is just entirely covering the entirety of that fight or whatever moment they're trying to cover is impressive to me the most, because that means you have to take that specific time to learn how long roughly the fight is going to be that you're going to be doing and how to extend that, because you're expecting them to be around for a while. You're not expecting them to be able to cheese this boss in 4 hits, you know? Speedrunners are going to do whatever they do, you know? I'm sure people have found out how to speedrun Granblue Fantasy at this point, maybe. But my point is, they stick to their guns knowing how long this should take, and they make a song appropriate to that expectation. And there's just a respect I have for that, because they know it's going to be a while, and being so confident in yourselves is something I have to respect, especially when you get just a solid track that's 10 minutes plus long, and it's just, like, that's sick, you know? I fucking love that. I love it when bands just go to town, and like I kind of joked about it during the reaction, how you're running out of lyrics, you got to put in a bunch of solos, but when the solos are so fun, you're not going to find yourself caring, you know? Like, I don't know if it was a keytar or just a straight up like synth keyboard. I feel like it would just be a keyboard, but points aside, that solo, probably my favorite part of this song. It was just fun. You know, I love the drum fills, like I was constantly talking about those. Those were great. I love a really solid linear drum fill. Those can be done wrong so many times so easily. So just having somebody who knows how to write those is amazing in and of itself. But I really like that solo for the synth. It's probably my favorite part of this entire track. But on those fills, going back to that, these fills are, like I said, very well written, not missing a beat, not wasting any effort getting the sound they need in the measures that they have. And like some of them are like flamming it, like between the snare and the first time it's like like, I love those. They are so difficult to time, and when you have people who are making songs like this, that I'm sure they have probably real drummers playing some of this, at least not maybe every single song, but it feels like something that is more natural to the play style, not necessarily something that a producer would just think to add. And if they did, good on them. You know, like that is a drummer specific sort of fill that somebody who's not in the space playing the drums would really be able to put together or think of. It's those little intricate moments that make this song feel that much more organic. So whether or not it's fully programmed or what have you, the guitar solos, I doubt. I'm sure they're recording those just based on how they felt. Such good feel, such organic tone. If those were just in a DAW and no real instruments, I would be floored. But I digress. This is just, it's setting my expectations so high, and I'm worried that I've heard the peak now, you know? Like, I'm sure there's going to be other good ones, don't get me wrong, but I also feel like if this is the peak, I'm going to be hearing a few that are going to kind of like wave down. It's going to kind of come back up, go back down, you know? So like I have to be prepared for that. But this is a really good first experience for this series. Now that I have a few songs under my belt from them, I can at least make sense of what to expect going forward. Or I'll be completely wrong and everything will sound very different, and this is the only one or the last one I'll hear with this specific sound. But I won't know if I don't get to those, so I should probably stop yapping now. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see me yap about more stuff, and definitely more Granblue coming in the very near future, then you know how to follow me and support me and all that. Or if you want to guarantee something from me, you can always go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships, where you can force me to listen to something too. It doesn't matter what it's from, who it's by, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that, that's perfectly fine too, and you know how to follow me and support me and all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!